welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Divinity Ray, enthusiastically indie, fantasy, and romance author. And today we are tackling my fourth writing project, book one in my Shadowbloom series, but I'm releasing the book as a serial. So that's going to be really fun. Right now we're getting set up in my Notion dashboard. In my last video, I showed you how I'm like building constraints and boundaries around the way that the story is getting told. I did like my log line, which is like my blurb, and my story promise. And I also like gave my story like a big three, like a sun, moon, and rising sign. It's conflict, internal, external, interpersonal. It was really fun. So if you haven't seen that, you can go ahead and watch it here and get caught up. And it's actually still the same day, but I wanted to break the video into two parts so it wasn't like too long. So since I've gotten all of that done, my goal tonight is to, I forgot. My goal is to remember what my goal is. Oh, I'm getting set up in my Notion dashboard. I have a very detailed Notion dashboard, and I'm holding my camera because I just like don't feel like setting it up right now. Whatever. If it's a little shaky, it's because I'm shaking. I took my medication, my hand is shaking a little bit. Chronic illness gang, stand up. Or sit down. You're probably tired. Sit down. Sit down. I'm a little wired today. I'm very excited today. I think that I'm breathing rare writer air right now. This is like the best part. As soon as I'm in the weeds of drafting and revisions, I'm going to be crying. So I'm just going to enjoy this. Let me have this. Okay. So basically right now, what I need to do is I've set up an entirely new Notion page and, document for this, and I have like literally nothing, no characters, nothing. And like, I need to go through and like transfer the information that's still relevant to the story first. And then after I'm done with that, I'm actually going to set myself up for success for fast drafting. One of the things that I cannot stand about drafting is having to switch what I'm doing mentally. So like, I did this whole like deep dive into neuroscience. Very, very fun. I watch a lot of like weird scientific, not weird, but I get really deep into like science and quantum physics and like all of that philosophy. Just because like, I'm like, I'm bored. I just want to watch some, and I end up like 3 hours later, like I am an astrophysicist. It's really fun. Yes, I'm a Sagittarius, and that's such a stereotype that I would do that, but I do it. I do. You got me there. I did fall down like a neuroscience rabbit hole and learned about like brain calories and how we expend them when we code. Like I was gonna say code switch because I'm Black. When we task switch, but also when we code switch. But when we task switch, we actually burn more calories, and it can take up to 15 minutes to get back into the creative flow of something when you lose focus of what you were already focused on. So with that being said, like the only thing I'm allowing myself to do now when I write is vlog. That's it. And even that I know is like slowing down the process, but this is for me. This is for me to document my journey, to see the excitement and the ups and downs and twists and turns along the way. And I think that's worth capturing. What I don't do is like, I'm not on my phone. It's on do not disturb. You cannot reach me. I'm writing. Don't call me. I'm writing. And I used to feel really bad about this, but then I got to see Kennedy Ryan at a book signing event. And even she talks about how like, that is her method. So much so that her husband has to like pull her out of like her writing hole, because when she's in it, you know? And that's why she's Kennedy Ryan. Now I'm not trying to be Kennedy Ryan. I'm gonna let Kennedy Ryan be Kennedy Ryan, but I am trying to be Divinity Ray, you know? And that's going to take time and dedication or whatever. So I really want to set myself up for success, specifically because I want a better drafting process. I think the process I have now is just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants. And I want an actual process that makes it easier for future me when I'm sitting down for like revisions and stuff like that. So I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to do that. But first, it is about like 6 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. I think I'm going to have dinner. It's going to be the same thing as last time because I meal prepped. I don't like, if I can skip cooking, I'm going to skip it. That's what we're going to do right now. So let's reheat dinner and watch a taco show. Is this thing on? I think it's on. I am so mad because I just messed up. Ugh. First I break my story, then I break my Notion template. The story is getting out of control. The wonderful thing about Notion is that when it works, there's nothing like it. But when it breaks, and I broke it, to be fair, it's not the software. It's literally, I wanted to get all of my brain dumped ideas from the time that I've started the book and story till now into this new database, because that's just like darlings I don't want to get rid of. You never know what's going to come back up and inspire like you never know. So I want to keep all of those darlings because they are up for adoption. Plus I have future story plots and things that like are in this database. So instead of importing my inputs into the new database, I replaced it. I just like moved the entire database. But the problem is I am everything is connected kind of girly, right? All of the interconnectivity broke because it's not connected to that database from the other book. Do you get it? I mean, if you know Notion, you get what I'm saying. And now I have to start over. So it is 8:07. Let's see how long it takes me to start over. And, this is just a part of the process. This is just a part of the process. This is just a part of the process, or at least my process, This is part of my process. Okay, it has taken me until 10:51 to finish. I'm not gonna lie. I spent maybe like 2 of those hours scrolling through Pinterest and squinting and bucking my eyes, trying to see like, is that AI? I hate it here. Somebody get me out. Oh, it's so frustrating. I wanted to change the aesthetic of just this page for this book because I'm going to be spending a lot of time with it and I want the aesthetic to start to reflect the story. I'm pink in my heart to the day I die. But even as of lately in my personal life, I'm like, I want to wear all black. I'm listening to all of my emo music. I'm going total teenage angst and no one can stop me. Bruh! Don't judge me, okay? I'm doing the best I can. So what I'm going to do, because I am very extra, okay? I think that there's something powerful about rituals when it comes to sitting down and especially writing, right? Like even anyone will like tell you, they're like, when you light a candle, you smell the certain kind of candle, whatever, do that same thing every single time before you're going to write. And it's going to get you in that mode, right? So what I'm going to start doing, because I can't always light a candle, I have asthma. What I'm adding to my ritual is basically putting my Notion on dark mode and going into this space that does not look like the rest of my Notion dashboard. So it lets me know it's time to lock in. You know what I mean? Right. So this is what it looks like now. Isn't that cute? I'm keeping it very low dopamine, just something aesthetic, something to look at, something to remind me of the themes and the things that we're working towards. And this is what my main page looks like. One of my favorite things so far is the way my scene cards look. It looks so cool. Let me show you how my scene cards look. Well, they're so empty, so they don't look that impressive. I would probably have to fill one out so you could see it. But here's like the bare bones, what it looks like with my cute little thorny cover. It's just so cute. Some of the key things that I track within my scene cards is the objective of the scene, like the scene summary. So just like a couple quick sentences or a paragraph of like what that scene is going to entail. If there is like a subplot A or a subplot B going on, I also like kind of put all of that in the same scene card. And then because these are properties within Notion, I have a separate Notion dashboard where I can look at just the main story, the A story, and the B story, and make sure everything is like nice and tidy and cohesive. Oh, and then also I track whether it's just like a random idea, if it's fully drafted or an outline chap. Like I just have it all organized, because if not, I personally will forget, and then I'm missing like really important information to my plot or my character's development, and that would just like not be good. So this really helps me to like remember where everything is. My check mark that just says darling question mark, that is how I put my darlings up for adoption, because I have a filter on this database where it only shows the scenes that are not darlings. And if I'm like stuck or I need some inspiration or I'm just trying to figure out like what comes next, I will literally just like go into my darling view and just look at all my darlings and just see like maybe those things just weren't working at the time because I didn't have more supporting scenes around them, and now I can like fit them into the story, or they become super relevant to the story. So don't throw away your darlings. Put them up for adoption and keep them somewhere safe where you can always go back and reference them, because they might be great for other stories, or they could actually fit into your story, just not at the time where you were writing them. So I love digital scene cards because I obviously live in a very like small loft. I live in like an efficiency. So like that's probably the only big blank wall I have, and it's for my projector. I have like a projector that I like watch my little Disney movies on here sometimes. So I don't put anything up there. So I don't have anywhere to put like lots of Post-its and stuff like that. I do have a book, which I call my grimoire. If you've been following along, you've seen it. And I put my Post-its in there. But digital scene cards has been my go-to now that I am using scene planning a lot more. So that's exactly what I'm hoping to get to tomorrow. I still have to do a lot of like architectural work for this story before I even begin to think about drafting. I personally just like drafting to feel like a very fun, immersive, and like positively frustrating part of my journey. I think that there's this kind of like aesthetic of struggle that you're supposed to have around drafting to make it seem like I worked so hard and oh, it was so trying. That's not the aesthetic I'm going to have around my drafting. I'm just not. I'm going to be having fun, and it's going to be immersive and exciting because I'm doing all the frustrating stuff first. I'm doing all the things that will cause me to struggle first. And like getting this out of the way allows me to really, really, really enjoy my writing process. I know it's not the same for everyone else. Everyone has different levels of struggle and ways that they approach their drafts. That's completely fine. There's no right or wrong way to write. I'm just like, write something. Be brave enough to put it out there. We need more of that. Like there can never be enough stories. Please tell more stories, however you're going to tell them. But as far as me and my process, we will not be struggling in this house. This is like a newer thing for me, and it definitely has been working, where I just kind of front load all of the hard stuff first and all of the struggle stuff. And then I get into the fast drafting, redrafting, revisions, like all of that later. Because like revisions and editing is hard enough as it is. There needs to be something. There needs to be something that is like the one thing in your writing process that you just look forward to so bad. For me, it's literally research and drafting. I love researching and I love drafting. Those are my two things, and I protect them fiercely because I want to enjoy being a writer. Like, what is the point of doing it if you don't enjoy it? And I think that maybe for some people, it is just like a corporate 9-to-5. It's a career. It's like, oh, I look at the market, I see what's trending. I write a book in that vein of thought or desire. I get a check. I write another book. Like for some people, it is just a job. But for those of us who are approaching it with a big creative heart, make it so that you enjoy your journey. Like, I think that it is such an eldest daughter, just, I don't know. It just seems like we are so predisposed, okay, to equating struggle with achievement. And it's like, if it wasn't hard to do, then what was it really worth? And I've been trying to unlearn that in my own life. And this is one of the ways that it's been manifesting for me, is just, how can I make things easier for myself? How can I partner with my future self so that I'm like giving my future self princess treatment? You know, like that's how I'm thinking these days. I woke up at 3:30 this morning. I got so much done, namely my world building wiki or database, whatever you want to call it. This is kind of what it's looking like here. I even did a lot of brain dumping. I don't know why the best ideas come like at the witching hour. Why is it that at 3 o'clock in the morning, my brain is so full of ideas? Scientifically, I want someone to explain that to me. I stayed up to probably about like 7 a.m., just like tinkering away and writing out so many good things. And the one thing I had to do, because I was really struggling with this at first, was I had to stop myself from trying to map out the entire story. I could like, it is so big and so vast and so long that I cannot do that. Like, I had to tell myself, scale it back, constraints, right? And just talk about this story path. Like, let's break it up into the semesters that she's going to be at the school, university, academy. I'm kind of going with institute. I think I've talked about this before, and I just don't want to be like university, because I feel like that comes with so many expectations, especially for people who are very, very academic. And like, this is like academia, but I made it up. So I made the rules. I'm the architect and I am the author. I think I'm going with institute right now as far as like how I'm describing the school itself. I've also mapped out like what I like to call like my big five, right? Because I write very character driven stories. And if I know the emotional journey that I'm taking the character on before I actually start like plotting and drafting, it's so much easier for me to draft and plot around what I'm taking my character through and like how I'm getting them to that story promise versus just like winging it and figuring it out on the fly. A big part of my writing is having tools available to myself and creating those tools for me. So as I'm moving through my author journey, I'm noticing that I need more and more things. Notion has been such a great place for me to create that, because it's like, you can basically build your own apps in Notion. Like, okay, enough about that. I get so nerdy when I'm talking about this stuff. So I feel like I'm at a really good place structurally. It's making me so excited to get towards the drafting. So while I'm sitting here today, the number one thing that I'm going to be doing, setting up my fast drafting key and legend. I talked about this, I think, yesterday, and I didn't get around to it. I got so caught up in like decorating and plugging in pictures and laying everything out, because I'm very much, if it's pretty, I'm going to use it kind of person, which is another reason why I love Notion, because it's so customizable. Right now, I'm going to set up my key in Legend, and I'll pop back in and tell y'all exactly which ones I'll be using, I guess showing you how you can set them up for yourself. So okay, it's 8:50. I'm at home now. So I finished my fast drafting, like shortcuts. I don't even know what to call them. They're just like shortcuts so I can come back and make my editing process so much easier. And then stay within the flow of my creativity when I'm drafting, instead of like laboring over things that I can literally come back later and like clean up, fix up, flesh out, etc. So in case you want to copy my text replacement, this is what it looks like. Take a screenshot. Okay, so categories and topics that I have is research, dialogue, show, which is like show, not tell. There is a YouTuber who I love watching her videos about like craft and writing. Her name is Abby Emmons, and she had the unhinged idea that when you're writing your first draft, you should just tell everything. Just tell it. And then go back and show it later. And I thought that was kind of genius. I'm going to try it. I can't say that I'm going to be the best at it, because like, I've already learned that like you better show and don't tell kind of thing. So we'll see. I'm going to try it though. I'm going to try it. I also have describe, name, continuity, flag. Flag is basically like, if my brain short circuits and I just kind of don't know what category to put it in, FF, flag, just flag it. That way I can keep going. I have magic, political, plot change, very, very essential for me, because my characters love to go off script. And sometimes I can lose the plot, basically, because like I'm just kind of following their lead. I'm refereeing. Sometimes they have a better story than me. I let them go for it, but I need to know when that happens so that I can like make sure all of everything is going smoothly and I don't create any plot holes. And then last but not least, world building. So if something comes up or I need a convention in order to make an emotional beat or anything happen, if I need to make something happen, I need to check my world building to see if I can actually do that. WB, done. And it just brackets it for me and I can just come back later. And speaking of plot change, I am so glad that I'm like really, really taking my time with this as I'm starting over, and I'm not like rushing the process, because for a moment I was just like trying to hurry up and get back to where I left off. But like starting over is starting over. And oh, does it hurt? Yes, it hurts so good. I'm in so much creative emotional pain of just like slowly letting go and like really, really like just, ugh. I don't even have the words. It's exciting. It's scary. I'm here for it. I'm dreading it. All of the things. But I will say, out of all the times that I have played around with the story, written this story, finished this story, almost published this story, this is the first time that I really honestly feel like, I don't know, that maybe I've just had enough time in the world of learning more about writing that I feel more confident about this story than I have in any past of it at all. And even with all of the changes that I've made that I know it's going to push me as a writer, specifically a new writer and a self-taught writer at that, but I'm really excited to like engage the work in this way. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to force me to grow and learn and show up and crash out maybe. Who knows what's going to happen? Oh, but I was saying, speaking of plot change, I found a plot hole before I even wrote a single line. Like, I found the plot hole. And this is like, just you gotta have a process. You gotta trust your little system, whatever works for you, because this is working for me. I found a plot hole before I even wrote my first like opening scene. Found it, and now I can go ahead and plug that up and don't have that hole anymore. So really like developing my story promise, having my log line, knowing what my central conflict is, internal, external, interpersonal when it comes to my main characters, knowing what my main emotional scenes and beats are going to be and what my character is learning and that emotional journey that they're going on, not just like the plot heavy journey. And then kind of creating a guardrail for my scenes and like what they're trying to achieve, and having a space where I can kind of sandbox the future of the story while focusing on the main event right now. It has been literally the best thing ever. Like, this has been one of the best things that I've done for myself. And I can't say that in previous projects that I've actually gone to this length of understanding what a story is going to be and how I'm going to bring it to life. And I don't think that I could ever go back now to writing stories the way I used to write them. I think this is going to become a core part of my process, like every single time to do it this way, because when I have just like written from like the ether of my heart or the void of my own imagination, and then I'm done with the story, I'm like looking at it like, what is this about? What is this about? And I think that, baby writer, I'm still learning, okay? And I adore those stories. I still love those stories. I think that they're good. However, I think that I could have probably pulled out a more layered, more depth, more smoother. I don't even know what word I'm looking for right now, but I just could have probably had a more developed story, if you will, if I would have done this process beforehand, which is why I'm really glad that I'm doing this now. So I'm thinking that, and I said this the last time, I think it's just because I'm so excited to get to the drafting part. I don't know why I'm so excited. I know that it's going to eat me alive. I know it is. I know it's going to eat me alive, but I'm so excited. But I think what I'm going to be doing next is I don't want to get caught up in the inertia of world building and world building and world building. I have a lot of the preliminary things mapped out. I have enough constraints to work within. And I just think that you cannot know exactly how your world is going to work until you put your characters in it. So I think that I've built it enough that I can actually start like scene drafting. I'm not going to touch chapters yet. I don't think that I'm there yet. I don't want to like put myself there. I don't think I'm there yet, but I am going to start scene drafting. I'm going to be trying this new thing as somebody who is a linear writer. We've talked about this before. However, this is why I made like my galaxy kind of like map where I could just kind of tell myself the story, because I need to do that before I can do anything else. Like from the beginning to the end, what is that story? So now that I've done that, I can actually go and look at the big scenes, like the major scenes. And I think those are the ones I'm going to tackle first, because I'm looking at it like, when I think of myself as a writer, I want to be an architect, right? And I heard someone say before, like, oh my God, if somebody showed up to your house to build your house and they said, you know what? I'm just going to vibe. I'm just going to see where the vibes are. You would be like, I'm getting a new contractor. It's okay. Like, and I think that like a blueprint does not make the finished product less creative. I think if anything, when you know where those support beams are, when you know like how to build a sturdy foundation, then you actually have more room to do interesting things. You can make interesting structures out of the foundational pieces and those big like support like beams that is holding everything up. I hope this is making sense. I hope it's making sense. If not, it makes sense to me. It only has to make sense to me, actually. So yeah, very, very, very excited. And I think that I don't want to get caught up in the inertia of world building. I do have a couple things that I still want to touch, a couple things that I want to do, and I'll probably maybe do that tonight. So I think our next video is probably going to be write my first chapter with me. And I'm so excited about that. we'll see how it goes though. 'Cause I don't know why I'm so nervous. Oh gosh. And I think I'm deciding if I want to write my first chapter at home or if I want to like go have like a remote writing day and like write it somewhere else. I can't really think of a location that I would like love. I might just like stay home and write it. I don't know. I will though, just because like sometimes I tend to get excited and skip steps. So I'm going to like go through my entire Notion dashboard for this book series serial and just make sure that I didn't leave anything out. I think the only thing that I probably can stand to do is to no, not even that. Damn. You know, you get to a place where all the planning has been done and now the work is saying, okay, it's time to do the thing. So I'm going to get some sleep tonight. You know what I should do instead of tinkering? I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to try to go to bed early tonight. That way tomorrow when I get up, I'm refreshed. I have like a fully rested brain and I can get into writing. I can get into writing this opening scene and first chapter and basically writing out my other foundational scenes as well. So with that being said, subscribe if you want to see how this journey is going to go now that I'm getting into the drafting part of the process. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.